wiegt es unter wiegt es Valaganti.
I've promised Dave wonderful views this weekend.
Peace and quiet.
Peace and quiet. We've come over the brow and the sun's gone away. It's all misty and there's the biggest race in the UK going on at the moment.
We're back.
We're back. However, this video is on my other channel.
What other channel, Matt?
The other channel that nobody knows about. Called
Mafta UK?
Nope, it's not that one, no. This channel is specifically for other stuff, and this is why I've brought you here, because I know that you don't know why I've brought you all the way on top of Hard Knot Pass.
Well, we're outdoors, we're having the view is fantastic. You've brought me to a cracking spot.
Yeah. This is Hard Knot Pass. Just over my shoulder is the Roman fort, and this is why we're here, because on New World Discovery we don't do normal stuff. I've got some new ghost hunting equipment, and what we're going to be doing is a ghost hunt tonight.
You what? I've come here to relax.
No, you haven't. You've come in to do a ghost hunt, and that's what we're doing tonight, mate. I'm sorry.
Ghost hunt?
Yeah. Sorry about that. So, I said to Dave there was a bit of surprise.
You mentioned spirits.
yeah.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah, I did say to Dave that we've got plenty of spirits to look forward to tonight.
It's a different spirit.
Yeah, it's not the ones that you were thinking. So that's that. There we go. So now you know what we're doing. Bit of a surprise for Dave.
Back.
Yeah, Mafta UK on New World Discovery.
2 channels.
Yeah, the other one's a very, very small channel, very, 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 very tiny. But I mean, it's just for
Few
stuff.
people know Mafta UK.
Yeah, it's stuff. It's stuff for this. It's for this messing around, having a bit of a laugh, and that's what we're doing.
When it comes to fishing, we normally blank, so let's hope we don't get a ghost.
Now, I do have a lot of information about the fort, so I can give you some of the history of the fort. The last time I was here, I thought there was a vicus. If you don't know what a vicus is, I'll explain all that later. But apparently it wasn't one around this area, but I don't believe that. I don't believe there wouldn't have been anything else here.
I got one on my leg before.
Yeah, that's a vicus vein.
Oh, all angry and throbbing. I'm sure it was a vein.
So there we are. We'll leave it at that until later. In the meantime,
Cheers, folks.
yeah, let's finish this brew and then we'll have a mooch down in a bit.
Yep. See you later.
See you later. Whilst we're putting our tents up, let me quickly explain how this video is going to go. Firstly, I'm going to explain what I know about the fort. I'm going to explain everything that I could possibly explain to you in the time that I've got without dragging this on too long. But you have to understand that these people might not have spoken English, and that makes it extremely difficult. Things really do get going later on in the video, so stick with it. You will find that something interesting does happen. So look forward to that. Stick with it. So a little bit of background knowledge regarding the fort. The fort is actually called Medio-Bogdum, and it was first occupied from 128 AD in around about the time of Hadrian. It was used for about 20 years, and then it fell into non-use due to the Antonine War, which was built further up in Scotland. Obviously, as the tribes were pacified, say, in this area, as the Romans moved further north, this became disused. But it was an important stopping place between Ravenglass and Ambleside. Now, both of those have their Roman names. So the Ambleside fort was called Galliver, and the Ravenglass fort was called Glanoventa. And this was obviously in between. The fort used to contain about 500 people, or 500 soldiers, with obviously the main commander in charge of everybody, with grain stores, and we'll show you all that later. The first people that occupied the fort were from around about the Croatian area, so from Croatia itself. They were called the 4th cohort of the Dalmatians, and they occupied it for those first 20 years. After that, not really sure. The structures inside the fort we'll have a look at later, but not everything was as it should be. So there, instead of all stone buildings. It depends on who you look at and what literature you read upon. It depends on whether they actually slept in tents, leather tents, or whether they had stone or wooden buildings, and we don't really know that. And there's different arguments for and against that subject. So that's a little bit of background knowledge on the place. The fort was rebuilt, I think, around about in 1957-ish, where they excavated it, had a look at what was going on. Didn't find much occupation outside the fort. But when we do go around, you will see there are areas where small pits, which look like kilns to me, and various other little bits and bobs going on just outside the fort walls themselves. The original dark line of slate on the fort that we will see later, that was the where anything after that dark line of slate was what we rebuilt after, just to get the walls back up to their original height again. So it is quite an interesting place. It is quite an interesting fort because inside the fort, it's not very level. It's humpy and bumpy, and there's all sorts of undulations within the fort itself. So not a very comfortable place to stay. It did have a bathhouse. But one of the most important things in and around this area is the fact that it's got the largest and best preserved parade square in Britannia. There isn't a finer example about, and we will definitely have a look at that. There used to be a stone building. We're not sure whether that stone building was somewhere for the commander to stand and address his troops or to watch the training going on, or whether it was a statued area. We don't know. We don't know the answer to that question. Nothing's ever been found. The reason I keep looking up there is because Dave is going for a walk to the top of Hard Knot Hill, and he's about a third the way up at the moment, so he's got a bit to go. I've got my beady little eye on him, but when he does get to the top, I'm going to send the drone up and have a look at him. That's why I keep looking to see if he's all right, because there's no actual path up there. You've got to find your own way up. So I do have more literature on the fort itself. It was definitely to control people. It was definitely designed to bring people. The road itself went through the fort. So as you came up from Ravenglass and up the hill, you had to go through the fort. That's where the road took you, past the commander's house before you left on the northern gate or the northeast gate. That's how it was designed, so that anyone coming up the path had to go through. The road that you see now is not the original path over the hill. It did detour. You can still see little bits of signs of the original road, but we'll probably do that from above with the drone later on. So yeah, it's an interesting place. It's somewhere that it keeps drawing me here, and I don't know why it keeps drawing me here. I keep wanting to come back here all the time. I love it here. It's an amazing place. It is. And I know Dave is really pleased that he turned up today, even though he didn't know he was doing some ghost hunting. And he genuinely did not know we was going to do that. I did keep that a little bit of a secret for him. I just wanted to see his reaction when I told him what we were doing. So yeah, he's up for it. But it's all a bit tongue-in-cheek. But I do have some proper equipment this time, unlike last time. There is a video of me doing this before. I did actually have a broken arm, but when I did it. But anyway, let's hope that we find some interesting results. I can still see Dave, there he is. It is a bit of fun. I do find the subject quite fascinating, although I'm not really a believer in such thing, but there must be something there, otherwise I wouldn't buy this equipment. You may have noticed I've got a tooth missing as well. I've got some major dentist work coming up over the next few months. So yeah, that'll go away soon. So there we go. We are now looking at the PSB11ANC all the way from America, and we're also looking at the Eric Hill EMF reader, which is the ER02. I've currently got the settings on magnetic, and we're currently reading 0.06 millijoules, and that's what we're going to be using later. So hopefully we should have something interesting come through. Now you'll notice on this spirit box there is noise cancelling, which stops all the usual sounds, which are the noise that you normally get. It's cancelled, and it only highlights when it hears anything. Oh, the EMF reader's back to, it's fluctuating from 0.6 0.3, so that's normal. And it is right next to the camera and it's right next to that reader, so there we are. So just a daylight look at what I've got. If I turn the volume up, you'll see that's what you normally get on most spirit boxes.
Yeah, it's all chattering interference, isn't it?
Whereas this cancels it out, so there you go. So what you're looking at here is one of the best preserved parade grounds in Britain. Now, it clearly doesn't look like much one now, but at the time, this was the all singing, all dancing parade square, and is still the best kept one. It's you just don't get it by looking at the grass, but what they've done is that they've actually there he is again, a little red soldier. That's it, Dave, well done, jolly good. A fine example of marching up and down. So we'll just walk down, we'll go onto the path that runs through the middle of it, and then we'll look back up to what was the tower where the commander would address the troops in front of him. So up there, the commander would have addressed his troops, and down here, the good soldiers of the Roman legions would have been doing their funky stuff. Man made this plateau, so it would have taken quite some time to do, but they did have 20 years to do it. And then it would have been a short walk over to the fort. There's a good view of the bathhouse. Oh, Craven's Cuckoo's still here. So just down there in front of us is bathhouse, which is quite handy really. Could do with one. So there we go. That's the bathhouse, or the sauna. And if you really want to be lazy, there is a car park just down there. But we did the walkie thing. Let's go over to the fort. Oh, in fact, let's have a look back at the parade square from this angle. There we go. So if you look at the build and the construction of this, you will notice that there's a thin layer of slate. That was where the wall was found originally, and everything above that layer was built afterwards, rebuilt it to cap it off. So the slate layer was where the fort was left in ruin, and everything above that slate layer has been put back afterwards. And let's go into the fort itself. Yeah, so what we're looking at now are the two granaries.
Come up 2 tiers and then that was it.
Yeah, and let's get a shot of that. Yeah, you can tell it's the granaries purely and simply because it sort of says granaries there really, so it's a really good clue. So we'll have a mooch now over to where everybody who came to the fort had to go to, and into a small courtyard. So there we go. And that looked a bit like that. Now it depends on who you speak to or whoever you read. There are some administrative offices at the back here, and some people say that this location here at the back, this small little courtyard here, was where the commander would dish out discipline for those who hadn't been behaving themselves, and either left and right were more administrative administrative buildings. The commander used to live in this longer building here. Yeah, he did. So that was where the commander used to live. Now they also say that this was never finished, the commander's house was never finished, but I disagree with that. And the reason I disagree with that is purely and simply because the commander is the big cheese, and the first thing he's going to do is get his house finished first before he looks at anything else. So I don't know why the commander would be quite happy to let everyone else get their place finished and not his. And I don't know how anybody could prove otherwise. I'm just looking from an ex-military point of view. Now I have tried to stay here once. I did try to pitch a tent in here once, but it was so windy I had to come out. Look at Dave the sheep whisperer.
Well. Steady, you. You move away.
But whatever happens tonight, this is where we're doing our investigation. But this time, instead of it being on my own, I've got Dave with me.
What am I in for? Ouija boards and cheese.
Ouija boards and cheese, that's the one. So we'll go now. We'll have a look at what I think is the industrial area. When you're doing your ghost hunt, that will look like if somebody stood there. It caught me last time. The views are spectacular. You can see why it was put here. Makes perfect sense. Well, everywhere you look along here, there's little pits. Now, they're not fired rocks, so fired rocks always have a distinct colour. But these could have been a lot bigger or deeper. But there was definitely some evidence of work going on here. It's just what it is. It's some sort of pits, some sort of working area. You can see them everywhere along here. And it makes perfect sense just outside the fort. Otherwise, why would they be here? Some sort of workings going on. Yeah.
There was like towers or something coming from there.
I don't know. Don't know. Normally, anything like that, if you've got a lot of working, if you've got a lot of burning going on, it would discolour the rocks and it would be quite clear that what they were used for. But you can't see any evidence of that.
Or we're on top of something and it's collapsed.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever.
It's a bit holy, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Wouldn't be surprised if there was something under here.
Yeah, there's definitely, there's all loose rock, isn't it?
And these were the Veluxes.
Yeah, Veluxes.
Well, you know, Roman style. Velux. X11.
But it makes sense. But it makes sense, doesn't it? There's these workings, aren't there? They're little pits everywhere.
So, yeah.
But what they are, nobody knows. I can't see anything on any writing or anywhere. But you can quite clearly see them spaced out. So they are some sort of workings. I don't know what they are. However, we'll have a little bit of a session around here later tonight. Let's go back into the fort and let's get a general look and oversize and see if we can get some decent footage.
So it's the fourth cohort, Croatian Dalmatiums.
Dalmatians.
The fort is called Medio Bogdom,
Medio Bogdom.
Ambleside Galava,
Galava.
and Ravenglass was Glanovetta.
Glanovetta.
So if we go on to our say hello, goodbye things, we have Come ti chiama? Come ti chiami?
Come ti chiama? Mi chiama David.
Yeah, correcto. That's not Italian, by the way. Correcto. That's
Oh.
no, that's not.
Correcto.
So if I was to say to you, piacerera,
The pizzeria is over there.
nice to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you.
So if you was,
you too.
so if you, so it was.
What's my response?
Come stai?
Come stai? Come stai? Come
Yeah.
stai?
Yeah. Now because I come from Croatia, you could say super double dobre,
Stupid double dobro.
dobre dan, because it's Croatia. Dobre dan is more Serb,
dan.
but I mean it's dobre dan.
In my country.
Yeah. Dobre dan.
man.
Dobre dan. Kako ste vi? Dobro valo. Kako ste vi?
Ah,
So I'm saying to you, hello, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Ruski. That means I don't speak Russian.
So, come ti chiami? What's your name?
Mi chiama David.
Piaceria. Nice to meet you.
Oh, yeah.
Di dove, where are you from? And divase, where are you? And come stai, how are you?
How are you?
Yeah, ready to go?
I'm ready to go. I've learned the lingo.
And anyway, well, welcome. And here we are at the very, very start of our ghost hunt. And the first thing we're going to do is we've got some dowsing rods, and these were given us by Phil from Ghost Stories. And what we're going to try and do is see straight away if these things can point to a location where it would like us to start our investigation. So, but pretty much basically over to you, Dave, to see what if you can find where they're pointing, if they're pointing anywhere, and
If there was a pub nearby, I would hope they would point
well,
there.
it's down that bottom of the hill, but that's a
Right.
mile away, and it's a
Well, you never
big
know.
hill.
Liquids.
So here we go. The first little
We
tip.
are in the centre, aren't we?
We are in the command centre, or the it's called the headquarter building. So we are actually in the headquarter building, and we're going to start right in the centre of the fort. And if the dowsing rods point to a particular way a couple of times, so we'll point. If they point, we'll reset, point again. Wind speed.
Does your camera
6.
pick them up?
Doesn't make any difference. It should pick them up. Yeah, it can see them.
Right.
But let's have a look. Let's go for it. Let's have a go for it. See what comes
Horizontal.
up. So there you go. So it's neither.
No, you could say that's the wind, which is actually it is blowing in my face. So
Yeah.
I will turn.
But it is pointing towards behind you, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah.
So if you turn with your back to the wind, let's see what happens then.
It's still facing the same way now. It's still facing.
It's still facing towards you.
In. Yeah. I don't know if you, obviously. You
No,
can't
obviously
see them.
Dave is off camera at the moment. And
But
where
I
are they
can tell you
pointing now?
They're both pointing at me.
They're still pointing at you. Okay, right.
We need to go out a shot, don't we? To
And where are they pointing now?
they're still pointing.
Straight at you at the centre. Okay, let's reset. Let's start that again.
I've nearly done a 360 now.
So whichever way you've stood,
Oh,
hello.
you've got to think that the wind's an influence, but when you stand 180, you think it would be blowing
It would point a different way.
So I'm 90 degrees across the wind now, and it's still pointing at me. You think it would be blowing?
Yeah. Just for your information, the wind is pointing
It's blowing
That way.
directly at me.
that way.
Well, it's still.
As Dave's turning, the dowsing rods are still pointing at Dave no matter which way he turns.
Okay, right, okay. Let me have a go.
Let's see if you get the same
See if I get the
results.
same results.
That's pretty fair, isn't it?
Yeah, let's see if I can do it. So we'll reset the rods. Here we go. So I'll stand in the centre. We've decreed that this is the centre of the fort.
Well, it is by its structure.
Yeah. Now I hold mine slightly different. I put the little tiny pinky on the inside, but that doesn't make any difference. It's just the way I'm holding them. So what I'm expecting now, it should point towards
Didn't tell me how to hold them.
Here we go.
If you held your cutlery like that, you couldn't eat anything. Well, your results are clearly rubbish. Oh no, same. Now that's the only position that I would say is the wind, because it's
Now what wind have we got right now?
there's nothing now. It's dropped off now.
That's pointing directly at me, yeah?
Yeah.
No, I'm going to turn round.
Thank the Lord. He never uses chopsticks. Oh no. Stop laughing.
Get off it. Okay, I'm going to go back to the camera.
Do you think this is actually proving anything other than...
No, I don't know what it's saying. Do you?
We need to move away from this to see if there's anything relevant, you know, from this point.
Dave, just come to my side and tell me where these are pointing.
Well, the pointing, like, yeah, the V across your throat.
Right at me, aren't they?
Yeah.
And I'm going to turn to you now. I'm going to reset. Start again. Hang on, reset. That one's not so keen.
It's weird because the first one did it straight away. But yeah, they are. They're all pointing into the middle, aren't they? So
Right.
I think now, if these are any cop, we need to move to a different point and see if the...
If it points into the centre
yeah, and if they point this way, then these work. If they just repeat the same... If we stand there and the wind's the same direction...
Well, let's go 50 metres that way.
Yeah,
and see what happens. Right,
exactly.
okay.
Yeah. Right, we are 50 metres nearer the entrance now, aren't we? Away from the
Yeah, we're
centre.
50-50 in the fort now, but we're definitely a good
Yeah.
20 metres
I'd say
minimum.
the entrance is there. The
Yeah,
middle.
we're halfway. We're halfway.
Right, I don't know if the camera can pick these rods
They
up.
will, they'll pick them up. So let's have a look, see where they go. Now your right hand is pointed straight behind you.
Yeah,
Your-
which is different. I'm going to do a 360, but gradual.
Well, you need to be steady when you move. So basically, you need to be firm on your ground when you stop moving. And just hold it nice and steady.
I'm not catching that bottom bead. I'll just readjust.
Yeah, reset. Drop both rods down in front of you to the floor. That's it. And then bring them up again.
I'll start again.
And your left hand's gone straight under your chin.
Which that one did the same. Actually, that is the same. So let's move around. Do you understand what these rods mean? Other than
No, I don't know what they mean. No. Now they are both pointing to the centre of the
which
fort.
they never did over there in the middle, did
No.
they? Which is a bit weird.
So now what we've got is the rods keep pointing to the centre of the fort.
Yeah, they are pointing that way now.
Now, just to put things in perspective, I'm going to do exactly the same thing again and see if I get the same results. But they are pointing, I mean, that's categorically pointing towards centre of the fort once
What
again.
does that actually mean though? Is
I
that-
don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, you haven't
I don't know. I don't know what it means. It means
found oil.
what? Yes, it means there's a water course under there somewhere. So I'm going to start now. Right face to the camera, facing into the wind. If the wind was blowing strong enough, it should point them behind me, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Or should cross in front of me and hit my chest,
Yeah.
shouldn't they?
Should always be pushing the rods that way.
Yeah. So, oops.
They shouldn't be throwing them to the ground like an amateur.
Like an amateur. Well, that's exactly what I am.
You need to hold them just
Here we
like
go.
that.
Hang on. Come on, babies. Oh.
Obviously, you went to rod school.
Let's just do. I'm just going to set that again.
School of Rod. I work with copper. You don't have to handle it like me.
It's going. It is going.
I had the same result though. I had one that pointed that way and one that was going that way at the start. Yeah, that mine didn't do that. Mine stayed.
That's pointing where?
Well, obviously, yeah, towards.
Back to the wind. So you're allowed to tell what's really going on.
Yeah, he's lying, everyone. Oh, that's a bit weird. One's. There you go.
And where are they pointing, Dave?
Yeah, that they're right. The camera's probably got them, to be fair. They've got those little glowy tips, haven't they?
No.
So centre is where we need to be.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what it's telling me. But what it does mean that we are going to start our investigation in the headquarter building, because when we was coming down, and this wasn't on camera.
Oh yeah, I followed the path, didn't I?
When we was coming down, you put these, didn't you?
Yeah, just for a laugh.
Just for a laugh, just to see where
And
we
it
were
pulled
going.
us straight into that entrance, didn't it?
Via which route?
I don't know what you would call it, but the back.
The back, the north gate,
Yeah.
via the what I call the pits.
What do you call it? The pits, yeah.
What do you call it?
I call it that way.
Yeah, I think it's the.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, we went over that bit that looks like that it's collapsed in on itself.
Yes. So it pointed everything down to there, didn't it?
Yeah.
And we got to the gate, it pointed us into the gate,
Yeah.
and that's when we decided that what we would do was we'd go into the centre of the fort and would see where it would point to, where it would point us, and it kept pointing right in the centre.
Yeah.
We've come away from the fort once again, so it's pointed us into the fort. We've got into the fort. It's pointed 360, kept stay where you are, stay where you are. We've come away from the centre of the HQ building, and it's still pointing back into the HQ building.
That's conclusive.
So, do you agree with that?
Well, the
or
wind
not?
direction hasn't changed, has it?
No,
It's
they're still coming
blowing.
that way.
Yeah,
And we're both of us are. Would you say you're a
Skeptics.
skeptic, non-believer? But
Oh,
we're
yeah.
here for a bit of fun. We're here for a bit of, but we're not. It's very easy to influence these, by the way. Just let me show you how easy it is. I'm going to point them to the right. I'm going to point them to the left. No, I'm not.
Into the wind it isn't as easy as what you think.
See, you can influence them to the right again.
But your hands were clearly in the middle, and mine were. I
Hang on,
didn't
but
want to touch the beads.
You can influence them. You can, but we're not here to influence them. We're not trying to make anything
No,
up.
we want to find something.
We're just here to see what's going on. We'll let you hold on to those, and then what we'll do, we are losing the light. You can just tell now, because this is a
dark,
good lens on the camera. We are losing the light, but I've got night vision capability on my camera, so we can stay here as long as we need to investigate. And this is what we're going to do. And I find that quite interesting. I think
Well,
that's
it's a start point.
it's a start point, and that has been our dedicated start point.
We've either found a stream or we found the middle.
Or there's a power cable underneath
There's
there.
something that's
Yeah.
attracting them to there.
So there we go. Let's head our way back over there. We'll settle in. We'll wait for it to get dark. We'll get the camera on later. We'll start our investigation. So here we have our EMF. We're on magnetic and we are currently reading 0. Now what I'm going to do, I am going to walk around this HQ centre. I'm not quite in the centre at the moment, but off camera I'm going to walk around and I'm going to see if we can pick up any different readings. So I'm just going to do a quick survey of the immediate area to see if there is any fluctuations with the EMF. And I'll see you in a bit. And if I do get any readings, I'll let you know. Dave, would you be so kind as to
Sorry.
follow me with the camera?
I'll follow you like a giblet.
I guess what everybody does is they sort of do a sort of map of the area to see if there's any natural phenomenon, because the magnetic variation can change, or the magnetic field can change depending on where you are on the planet. So you do get sort of like spikes. So just because that suddenly rises doesn't necessarily mean there's anything there. It means that the location that you're at does actually pick up a reading. But that's just the way it goes.
Have you ever picked a reading up?
Only at home. That's only because of my missus, because she's a static ass.
On the microwave?
Yeah. Although, oh yeah, it goes berserk on the microwave.
Does it?
Oh, absolutely. That's what these devices find, the electromagnetic fields. They find radio frequencies, fields, like your wireless, your Wi-Fi and all that sort of stuff.
Does your detector go ping after 60 seconds?
It makes a note. You'll know if this goes off because it will sound. The alarm goes off.
Oh right, it actually does register something.
Yeah. There's a scale that comes up. So you'll see like a graph that comes up.
If we survey the area and nothing happens, would that put you off anything?
No, it wouldn't put me off. What it would say is that we have neutral all the way around. So we're heading up towards what was classed as the main gate, and we're still on 0-0. Now, should later on this evening that suddenly spike, there's
been a change.
That could mean that something's here. So we're now at the main entrance. Bit of wind. Quite a lot of wind. We're out of the fort now, just heading out of the fort, heading down towards the bathhouse, and we're still reading 0-0.
It's not changed, does it, at
No,
all?
not at all. Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Is this boring footage or?
No, it's not boring footage. What it is actually proving that there is a 0 reading throughout the fort. So if something later on suddenly spikes, that could mean there is an entity present because it's 0. But if it rises all of a sudden, that means something's changed. Well, what's changed?
And what's this meter called that you've got?
This is
An EMF?
an EMF, electromagnetic
Force.
field.
Field, sorry. Not to be mistaken with KLF.
Yeah, nothing. 0.
It hasn't changed at all, has it?
Not moved. Not.
Well, we're not on the boundary of the exit. The fort's still over there, isn't it?
So at this moment in time, we're reading 0, which is really good. So we've covered about 100 metres, if not more.
Yeah, 50 either way.
And there's no change in this electromagnetic field whatsoever. 0.
So are you sort of happy that that's calibrated, and would you just leave it on just in case it does change? Or
That's what you're supposed to do.
you just leave it on in the sideline?
Yeah. So I'll sit back down next to our gear.
Shall I turn this off or?
No, you can leave that on. It's not dark enough for the night vision camera yet. So now I'm going to take the timer off, because there's a timer on here. Starting from upper left, we have our EVP monitor. We have, which is the HM1. We have our Spirit Box, which is the PSB11 ANC, and then we have our EVP monitor, which is lower right. And everything is reading 0 at the moment. We're going to go into night mode, and we're going to see if we can get a response. I'm going to start asking a series of questions, and we'll see where we go. Now, I am going to ask them, I'm going to start by asking stuff in some form of Roman or Italian language, or maybe even Croat, or what could be recognised as Croatia, as in Dobar Dan, that sort of stuff. So let's go for it, shall we? Let's see how we get on. So let's turn our headlights off. Let's turn our camera on. We need to go into night mode. There we go, night mode.
Oh yeah, that's showing up well.
And there we are. So let's.
Hello.
We'll start with.
Hello.
Tori, how they doing, lad? They're right.
Hello. Is that Adele? Rolling in the deep.
Solve.
Hello.
Solve. Hello, Solve.
Buongiorno.
Can you remember what the term was for Who are you?
Who are you? No.
Good night.
Squeeze me.
Come ti chiami?
Come
What's
ti
your name?
chiami.
Buongiorno. Come ti chiami?
Come ti chiami.
So let's start. Buongiorno. Salve. Come ti chiami? Buongiorno. Salve. Come ti chiami?
Is anybody here?
Mi chiamo Matt.
Mi chiamo Dave.
Would you like to speak to us? Obviously, that's in English. Because I.
Oh. That was a bit of word distortion then. Was anybody there?
Salve.
Ça va? I think I've gone French.
Come stai? Salve. Come stai?
Is anybody there? Hello?
Now, bearing in mind we do have the EVP running, so if there is any response from the EVP which picks up after we've edited this, we will let you know. Obviously, we can't do it now. We can.
Oh, that's that little guy, isn't
yeah,
it?
it is. We can look back on it shortly. We can see if there's anything come up.
Not feeling anything yet, are you, Matt?
No, I don't feel any sense.
I feel
of-
quite content here. I wouldn't want to pitch up on my own here,
No,
though.
well, it was quite good fun when we did it.
Yeah, it's a bit, like I say, it'd be completely different if you're on your own here, though.
Yeah,
You'd
it
feel a
would be,
little bit... It might be completely, I'm not going to use the word clean, but there might not be anything...
There might not be, but this is why
Sinister.
we're here. We'd like to get a response off our voice box. That would be brilliant. But we need to keep repeating some words.
To be honest, it's good if it doesn't work, and it's good if it does. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Because to me, I'm just thinking, oh, you've got something here that's going to go, and you're going to go, oh, there's something trying to communicate, and I'm like, oh no, there's no chance.
Yeah, but the difference being that if it comes in a foreign language, this is FM.
Yeah.
FM frequency. If this comes in a foreign language, that would be weird, wouldn't it?
Well, it would be.
Because it's only scanning like UK channels, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it would be weird if there was something came across, especially in Italian or Latin. That would be amazing. But you can only post edit. You can see these things, but we may
Yeah,
miss
but
them.
I mean, with you here, it doesn't feel. It don't feel weird. That cloud's weird, but the place isn't weird, is it?
No.
Look at that cloud.
It's like a alien ship, isn't it?
That's the only one that's going to rain on me, and it's going to stand over my bivvy.
Yeah.
Just changing the subject. But the rods were conclusive. The wind's dropped right off now, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And just out of, I know the camera can't see these now, but they're still all over the place.
Salve. Come ti chiami? Mi chiamo Matt. Now, the difference between this voice box or spirit box and the other boxes is that you don't get that. Yeah, exactly that. You don't get that.
You don't get that,
No,
even though we've just got that.
even though we just got it.
Makes you jump though, when it does.
It does, yeah, it does.
Yeah, I can't remember that house. I went in that coal bunker with that guy, and it's like face to face.
But our meter's not moved one
It
iota.
hasn't changed, not even
no.
0.1, has it?
Which is important, because if it does start to rise,
But we've had nothing on that either. So, do you think the two would be in tandem if there was?
Possibly. You don't know. I don't know. This is, this is an experiment, isn't it? It is an experiment. It's what it is. It's what we're doing.
Have you tried this at your haunted house where you live?
Ooh, stand up straight. No. There we go.
I mean, like you say, when you think of haunted places, there's not many that are.
Well, not necessarily. We're not looking maybe haunted. It's like the energies, isn't it? If is there any energy? Is there any? Is there anything?
What's
in
that
this area?
hall in Lancaster? Is it
Chingle,
Lancaster?
Chingle Hall.
Is it Chingle Hall? Yeah. Have you ever been there?
Yes, I stayed a night in Chingle Hall, and
Did you do it before you had all this?
Oh, I did this 20 years ago.
Right. And did you
Before
feel anything?
Yeah, I felt sick in one of the rooms, and as we was walking around the room, the lass said, a lot of people feel sick, and I literally just said to Karen, I don't feel very well. I feel a bit sick in here. And then she said,
straight away after,
most people
yeah.
when they come in here, they feel sick. And
So do you think some people are more susceptible than others?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people like me who I've never seen a ghost. Have you?
No.
But I have seen that orb, and that was, but it wasn't the orb that you see the little white specks of dust. It was a glowing ball of light.
What I mean is, was that the thing that got you?
Yeah, absolutely. Got me questioning
Science and everything.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. No, whether that was
I've not had that moment, so
No.
I'm not.
No, it certainly changed my opinion. I guess it's something like that puts people into a different mindset.
Yeah.
It changes their minds. And when I witnessed that, when I've seen that, now you would notice that keeps repeating itself. Now I would say that's because it's scanning up and down the channels.
I know so often it hits that.
It hits the same channel again.
Yeah, because
So
it's
doesn't- Yeah. And so I wouldn't say that's a reaction. I'd say that is the fact that we get to a channel every now
Yeah.
and again, and it does that.
And do you reckon it's definitely? That was quite quick. What I mean is, do you think it's more? Do you think it's places that hold this information, or do you think it's more the people?
Fabric of the building, the location.
Well, what I mean is, do you think there's more? Do you think there's if you brought a certain person in, could they trigger it, or do you think it's definitely the place?
I think people can, but I mean, you see it on the telly, don't you? Whether they're believable or not is down to your
Well,
discretion.
yeah.
I think there probably are people that genuinely feel a difference.
This is more location based, isn't it, rather than
this is
person based?
yeah. This is about, is there anything in this area?
Yeah.
And at this moment in time, although those dowsing rods just point us to the centre of, and where we are sat in the centre, there is absolutely zero magnetic field. There is nothing coming through, but we might have something on our EVP.
Day 2, the bedroom light never worked. Switched it on and off, it wouldn't work. All the side lights in the room worked, well, our bedroom. Anyway, at like 2 o'clock in the morning, the light just suddenly came on. And it was like, there was things like that happened, but you felt so uneasy. Now, was it the building and the graveyard and everything that made us feel, and all the spooky pictures on the wall?
I think you can walk into a building and you can.
Yeah,
feel,
but you felt it. It was almost like straight away. Not even walk around the whole
you
building.
get a presence of not.
Yeah, and I've
wanting to
never
be there.
ever felt that
But
anywhere
you don't
else.
feel that here, do you?
No, I feel absolutely nothing here.
Nothing. You don't feel any
No,
sort of.
absolutely calm.
No, there's nothing coming up on the reading. There's nothing coming up on there. However, what we'll do, we'll try again. This time we'll try in some Serbian, which is close to Croatia. I know there is a very similar language, so let's try again. Dobar dan. Dobar dan. Kako ste? Dobar dan. Kako ste?
Uppano wrapped. Sorry, that's kebab.
Do you know any Italian?
See?
Go for it.
Di nombre di Padre, di Figlio, di Spirito Santo. That's the name of the cross. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinque, seis, sette, otto, novo, 10. That's 1 to 10. I didn't do very well at Italian.
Now you probably won't hear anything from this camera from that distance, but that's why I've got the EVP right next to it. So if we does pick anything up, it will be recorded on that as well. And I can actually up the sound on the camera should anything come through. Salve, dobro dan. Che coste?
Italian.
Salve, come ti chiami? Salve? Come ti chiami?
Signor? Signorita? Madame? Mister? Mrs?
Well, let's try a little bit of English, see if we get a response in English.
Children?
Bambino.
Yeah, bambino, bambini. Grandad? Grandma?
Is there anyone here that would like to speak to us, regardless of where you're from, who you are? We would like to speak to you if you can hear us. There's a machine here for you to talk through. All you've got to do is listen into the machine, communicate with the machine, and send us over a voice. Is there anything that you would like to say to us? You have to try really, really hard. Come closer to the machine. If you come closer to us, come stand right next to us. You do not have our permission to get into us in any way. You can't take our bodies over. But if you need to come closer to us and speak into the machine, please do so.
If I spoke into the machine, nothing changes, does it? Because I'm just a voice.
Yeah, but you can't speak into the machine, can you?
No, but how does a ghost speak into the machine?
I don't know.
Or a spirit, I should say.
I don't know. See those louder bits that you hear?
Yeah.
It amplifies them. So if it hears something, it amplifies it. But it's obviously not clear that it's not too loud.
No.
Which is why I've got the EVP there. So if it does come through, it shouldn't be too distorted. If you turn the volume up too much,
It'll distort, yeah.
now what we can do, we can try on a different frequency. We've got AM as well. So what I might do is change the right hand reader over to AM and see if that makes a difference. So let's give that a go.
Covering all bases. What changes have you done now?
I've just put a new battery in.
Is it on AM though?
No, that just seemed to go mad. But you see how it's static?
Oh. Mike.
Alright, mate. Well, I can't see anything. Can you see anything?
Not much.
You want to walk behind me?
I'll walk behind you.
You see the camera?
I can see the camera light and that's the only thing I can see. Jeez, that's blinding.
The light you can see in the distance there is actually the pub down the bottom of the hill.
If we get there, we've done all right.
You all right, Dave?
Yeah. Just about my eyes, I've just got used to it now.
So that's the end of the Wait for it to focus. That's the end of the commanders, or the headquarters.
Should we head to the north
Commanders
wall?
building is on our left. That's the commanders. And we're going over to
The far wall. What's your foot in?
There is a red light on that box.
There's a good light up the EMF.
Have you got some light there? Oh, from the EMF. Is that how you can see?
Yeah,
I wondered how you could see where the hell you were going.
I'm doing alright, thanks. No,
Is that the wall?
Yeah.
Right, turn left.
Whoa.
Oh. Did you get anything then?
Someone said cha.
Ciao. Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao. We are now in the, I think it is the southwest turret. I'll show you a little picture of where we stood.
Pit of abyss.
Yes, no, I don't. This isn't the floor level. I don't think there's certainly no doorways to get into here. So that was probably higher up or from the wall. I think
It was
even
probably
the
foundations, wasn't it?
yeah, the literature says that. So we'll start again. We'll keep asking some questions. Dave, if you can just listen out on the monitor to make sure if we get anything, we've got our. Let's just put our EVP there. So we've got our EMF, EVP, and everything's still grafting. Now I'm going to start again. Ciao. Ciao, salve. Mi chiamo Matt.
Would anybody like to talk to us? Anybody?
In 2,000 years there must have been many, many people visiting this place. And maybe one or two of you could speak English as well. So if you would like to speak to us now, please do so. Just look at where Dave is. There's a box there. Go over to the box and try and communicate to us through the box. The little red flashing lights. Is there anybody there? That rattling will go on the EVP.
If Matt's annoying you, please speak out. Because he's annoying me now.
No. We're going to give it 5 minutes. After 5 minutes we're going to move out of here and we're going to go over to what I call the industrial area.
Well, where should we go? Can you help us? Where should we go? Should we go north?
I'm very conscious that we're coming up to an hour's worth of video and you haven't heard anything yet. But honestly, stay with it. Things do get interesting. Whether it's radio or whether it's actual responses to what we say, I don't know. But in the next few minutes, things start happening. We get responses. And I just don't know what to make of it. What do you make of it? Keep watching. I find it fascinating. Not getting anything here. Don't feel anything. Not getting anything. Don't feel concerned in any way.
No.
Okay.
Please stand up. I think we should move on, Matt.
Yeah, there's nothing here. We're not picking anything up.
No.
Magnetic hasn't changed. Nothing's changed.
No.
Don't feel anything. Can't see anything. Can't hear anything. So, time to move on up the road, I think. I think we'll head back over to the industrial area, or what I call the industrial area, and see if we can get something there. If you can keep everything up and running, I think we'll walk over with our head torches on this time, because that was a bit awkward coming through all those stones, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll turn head torches on, we'll turn the camera off, and we'll go for it.
We've got your floor.
Recording. Can you turn your light off, Dave? So we are now.
Yeah, it's gone very cold, just
Yeah.
for the camera.
Yeah, so that's gone cold.
We're at what we consider is like a collapsed mine or a collapsed something or other.
Yeah, there's definitely something. When we walked past earlier, this hole in the ground just
Feels like
continues further in,
connected
doesn't it?
tunnels or something.
What was that?
It said connected tunnels.
It said connected tunnels.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the monitor. That's not changed at all.
No.
Still reading 0.
Anybody? Can you tell us about these tunnels? What are we over?
Ciao. Salve.
Biento is good.
Have you heard Biento?
No, I just remembered it. Biento, spirit.
Now we have to be extremely careful where we are, don't we? Because we're about 10 metres from an edge of a cliff.
Yes.
And it's a sheer drop.
We don't want wandering off that way.
No, we don't. So when we move from this location, it's head torches. We're not wandering around here in the dark.
No, it's stupid.
No, that's just dangerous and it's not a good idea. So let's start again. Come on, let's see if we can have anybody. Is there anybody here that would like to speak to us? Come over to us now. Speak to our little box that we've got. You can say Salve, Dobro Dan, Ciao.
Any language. Is there any child?
We give you the chance to speak to us. We give you the chance to talk to us. I can't imagine as many people come up and do what we do here. Very rare for you to get the opportunity to talk. So now's your chance. Let us know you're here.
We are listening.
You can show us a light, maybe even a light. Can you produce a light? Still, nothing.
Or a beer cup. I'm sure in them days they drunk beer, Math. Can you feel it? Is anyone beneath us? Is there someone beneath us? Is anyone above us?
Where are you?
Is anybody watching us?
Can you see us? We cannot see you. Can you see us?
I think
so.
You think you can see us?
Are you in the dark? Are you lost? Do you need help?
Dobro dan, kako ste? Kako ste? Salve. See, that to me is a radio. Would you like to speak to us? Is there something behind me in the sky? Is there something behind me in the camera? Dave? What's that on the camera? Is that just a...
Just like a mist, isn't it? Like a misty ball. Oh, it's gone.
Oh, it's the IR light.
Yeah. Like it's bouncing off the mist or...
Yeah. Okay. One last chance. We're going to move up to the parade square soon. Let's just check out monitor. Guess what?
0.
0.
I've done an
Absolute 0. There's nothing registering on this whatsoever.
When I put these rods on the aerial, I can get a bit of...
Yeah, but you'll get a further range. That's all that is.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, but you don't want range, you want proximity. Yeah. So there is nothing that we can see or hear. Well, we'll try again. Apart from sheep eyes. Sheep eyes.
There's plenty of sheep eyes. It's got a bit cold, hasn't it?
Yeah, the winds. Yeah, the winds. Yeah, the winds. Chilling up a bit.
Hello. Bonjour.
So let's start again. Buonanotte. Mi chiamo Matt. Come stai?
C'est Voudray on discotheque.
Is this the Victus? Are we near the Victus that's not supposed to happen? That's not supposed to be here? However, we are looking down on the parade square. Is there a Victus near here? A close Victasso. Yes, I've just made that up. Don't step back, whatever you do, Dave.
No,
you're going straight over the edge if you do.
Zammo.
It's only about 6 foot, but it'll be 6 foot of entertainment. What was that there?
Oh, Capone.
Stella Artois? Is that French?
Stella
Or
Artois.
is that...
Belgium. Oh yes, Stella Artois.
Solvay.
Oh yes, my name. It's J.R.
Hartley.
I would like 2 ounces
Of smack.
of smack.
Do you have the book of J.R. Hartley? You do. Well, you're the only...
Would anybody like to talk to 2 idiots?
Stood in the middle of a field.
We're out cold. We've come out of our way to talk to you. We would love to hear anything, a noise, a voice, an action. If we can help in any small way.
So we've come back to camp now. This was the only place where I actually got any readings last time. And I just want to show you this. This reading is still on 0. But it is working because if we put our lamp on it,
It's picking up something in it, a bit of radiation, but
it actually reacts to the lamp being on it. So it is working. It's just if there's nothing there to pick up, there's nothing there to pick up. And I can't say we've proved that this evening, but what I can say is we've tried, we've given it a good shot.
the equipment works.
Yeah, I think so.
In a negative way.
Yeah. Now, we're just going to go through this last bit now, and we've still got everything running. We've still got EVP. We've got everything else, and we're just going to give it the last 5 minutes, and then what Dave and I are going to do, we're going to have some super hot noodles.
It's a challenge, Matt.
Yeah, we've got a bit of a challenge coming on.
Which
so
channel are you actually on now?
oh, this is the same
Matt
channel.
UK.
No, this will be the same one.
You don't do challenges on that.
Well, we do today,
Right.
or we could separate it.
Well, shall we explain about the old challenge on the other video?
The old challenge.
We did a curry, didn't we?
Yes. Can
Right,
you?
that was extremely hot. That was the Iceland.
Yeah, it was the
Ghost.
Iceland
Was
ghost
it-
chili. Ghost chili. What I will do is I will put a link to that video here now, and if you want to watch us eat the hottest,
This is the
curry.
second. No, it's noodles now. Oh yeah, that was the curry.
yeah, oh my word, it was so hot. It was like putting lava in your mouth, but it was
Yeah.
quite funny, quite entertaining.
This isn't quite as hot. It's 2 times nuclear. That's what it says on the packet. But I have had the 4 times nuclear, which were a little bit hotter. Not very pleasant, but a little bit hotter. These are 2 times. They're tested, but they're not. You're at 100% you'll finish them, 100%. But
Yeah.
by the end, you'll want a drink,
Yeah.
basically.
Face on fire.
Yeah, it's not like it's not got an afterlife like that curry.
Mm.
You'll just feel like, oh my god.
That just made you feel ill, didn't it?
Yeah.
Right, so here we go. Last 5 minutes then. Here we are then, before the battery dies out. Salve? Come stai?
Is anybody there?
Buonanotte. Mi chiamo Matt.
Communication? Do you need to communicate? We've come to you. This is your turn.
I've got quite a bit of time, quite a lot of listening through the voice recorder and going over this footage to see if there's anything picked up by the cameras that we can't see in and around us right now. I don't have full vision, it's just infrared or normal camera. That's all I've got.
It might show something.
But
I've not felt anything. Have you?
no,
At all? Not a thing,
nothing.
Not a sausage.
Nothing has come to me at all.
Even when you went in that little pit area.
Yeah. So is there anything you would like to say before we go? Is there anything you would like to do? Let us know that you're here. Please do so now. Please speak to us. We're here to listen to you. But I will say before we close this, you cannot follow us. We do not want you to follow us home. You stay here. You have to stay here. But now is your chance to speak to us. Would you like to speak to us? Despite Dave and I feeling that we hadn't really achieved anything and we hadn't caught any ghosts, at the end of the day, when we got round to what we call the ironworks or the industrial area, we started to get some results. Whether it's radio chatter or whether it is actual responses, you decide. Because I'm in 2 minds still. There was a direct response to one question, but was it, or does it just sound like it was a response? Was it pure coincidence? And I guess that's the whole thing. We didn't see anything, we didn't feel anything, but did we hear anything? I'll leave you to answer those questions. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.